Joining us on the broadcast are our esteemed guest, Dr. Shatorupa, who is the spokesperson of the BJP, Mohammed Tauseef, Rahman, who is the spokesperson of TMC, Rukmani Singh, she's a social activist and a lawyer, and Yogita Bhayana, who is also a noted social activist, is joining us on the broadcast. Tauseef ji, I want to come to you first. The latest arrest of Shibu Hazra, who is a known TMC leader. Your thoughts on this? I would leave the floor open to you to make your comments, sir.
See, they are repeating this from last 3-4 days and nothing new. Thank God Shibu Hazra has been arrested right now because he was hiding somewhere and the whole blame game was coming on Trinamool Congress. So, from day one we are saying one thing, if something has happened in Sandeshkhali, it has to be brought in daylight. The justice will be there if something has happened. But if something is scripted, if something is manipulated, if something you want to put your words into their mouth, the evidence has to be there. And this is what the police wanted some kind of time. But the opposition wanted to politicize this. The opposition wanted to turn Sandeshkhali into a battleground. That was the problem we were facing and we were agitating against this. We were never against any woman. We said if any woman is telling the fact, showing the evidence, coming up with the true facts, we are with them. Whether they belong from Basirhat, whether they belong from West Bengal or India or any part of the world.
Tauseef ji, it is one thing to say that in principle, and it is one thing to say that in TV debates. And I think no political party in this country can, decry or disassociate itself from the cause of women in this country, because it's a constitutional rights that has been given to us, including right to equality and freedom from any kind of discrimination and the systemic abuse that they have faced. My question is that if the local administration had done its job, if there was not a hostile environment there, if the local police thana was not working in tandem with the local henchmen and the politicians, then these women have had the real chance, they would have had a real chance to come forward, lodge their complaints and get, a proper investigation. All of this is now happening because BJP is making noises.
I'll tell you first thing I want to start with. First of all, I do respect each and every woman. It is a very sensitive thing. We are not insensitive about anything. I never said they are lying. I never said they are rubbishing the events. I just wanted to know the fact, whether it is a truth or false, or it's just a blame game, or if they have been tortured by any opposition party to come forward and say something which is not their fact. I can show you one more thing. I have more than 20 videos. I mean, it's a good debate, let's not spoil it. Because Shatorupa ji is hearing, I know that. I can show you 20 videos where there are more than 300 women, 400 women claiming that these things never happened in our district. Nothing happened in our district. Again, they are ladies as well. They are female as well. But again, I will not rubbish those statements coming from those
So with due respect, before I bring in BJP, the statement of somebody coming on record and saying nothing has happened holds no merit. Legally, the only merit is in the statement of the victim whenever they come forward and make a statement. So it's not some kind of a spectacle that has happened where people can come and say this has happened and this has not happened. It's the women who are affected will tell you.
But when you talk about those statements, you have to consider these statements as well.
I don't think legally they hold any importance. It is the statements of the victims and the complainants that will decide this particular case, sir.
So, ma'am, one thing for sure, when you talk about legalities, when you talk about evidence, when you talk about court, emotion stands nowhere. You need evidence. You need proof, right? When you talk about legality.
Sir, law also recognizes the fact that there are some certain times a hostile environment for the victims to come forward and record their statement. That is why in this country there is a need for the witness protection program. That is why the identity of rape victims is still hidden and it's not disclosed. I want to bring Shatorupa ji also into the discussion. Shatorupa ji, one of the key things that the TMC has repeatedly said is that we are not stopping the law and order machinery to take its course. Once there is a formal complaint of any kind of sexual assault being done at the behest of anyone, law will take its own course. It's only very recently that during a 164 statement, one of the victims said that there was an attempt to rape. Otherwise, the most heinous charge so far that was made was outraging the modesty of a woman, which is very different from a charge of a rape or a sexual assault. Shatorupa ji.
Anisha, first of all, whenever Trinamool, talks about this attitude of holier than thou, and we would let the law take its own course, it's almost like Pakistan saying that we are against terrorism. So Trinamool has a
Shatorupa ji,
track
now we have
record
become a
of
Pakistani as
No,
well.
allowing
nobody
the
interrupts
law
the
and
other. Right
order
now,
of West
BJP.
Bengal.
Yes.
Tauseef, you will not interrupt me.
No, nobody will interrupt you, ma'am. Make your
Trinamool has
point.
a habit
Yes.
of doing that. Thank you, Anusha. Trinamool has a track record. It's not only Sandeshkhali. Sandeshkhali, they have crossed all limits, and I would actually like to thank the media, the central media, the national media, and this is because of your pressure. Of course, supporting our the pressure that we have created in Sandeshkhali for Sandeshkhali, I would say. And the fact that Arun Haldar has actually gone and demanded President's rule, all of it together has finally made Trinamool and the state government succumb to pressure and at least initiate a cognizance of the additional charge of rape, and I think gang rape has also been added to this latest arrest. Now the point here is there have been several women who are talking about manhandling, sexual abuse, people calling them under various excuses with an intent of sexual abuse. I understand it may not all be very as serious as a rape case, but you also have to understand the women of Sandeshkhali are rustic, they are semi-literate, and most importantly, they
Shatorupa
were
ji,
petrified of the political pressure there.
ask this
They were
question to you head
repeatedly
on.
saying, Anusha, just let me complete this sentence. Anisha, just 1 second, just let me complete this sentence. They've been repeatedly mentioning Sheikh Shah Jahan and his two henchmen who created a fear psychosis, that if they didn't respond to these cat calls or whatever calls there were to the party office, their families would be beaten up, their men of the houses would be accosted, and their shops would be burned.
I get that point, and that is why I asked the TMC that was there a hostile atmosphere for the
Just take
victims
40
to.
seconds.
Sir, I'll come back
Just
to
take
you.
40
Sir, I'll
seconds.
come back to you. I'll come back to you. Shatorupa ji, the direct question that the TMC has repeatedly asked is that is this some kind of a drama that the BJP has created only to propagate the narrative that look, everything is wrong in the state of West Bengal. The evidence is thin and flimsy. That's the moot argument of the TMC. Deal with it head on, ma'am. Shatorupa ji.
You see, TMC can keep on saying whatever they want to say. People of West Bengal all over, let me tell you, and let me say this, I mean, at the sake of repetition, what has happened at Sandeshkhali is the tip of the iceberg. This is the same situation right from Himachal up to Ganga. The entire West Bengal is petrified, and this, if you scratch the surface of any social fabric, any other geographical area of West Bengal, you will get the same hues, same cries, same shouts from women that they are being abused. And this is not only happening in rustic areas, mind you, it happens in capital cities also.
All right.
It is a totally
A
different
quick response from the TMC, then I'll go to Rukmani Singh and Yogita Bayan.
NCRB records Calcutta as one of the stations.
60 seconds to you. Please go ahead. Tauseef ji.
Ma'am, I'll just say one thing. When she's talking about state machineries, the BJP declines each and everything. And they want us to believe the national agency where they came and they said कि यहाँ पे तो emergency लगनी चाहिए, यहाँ पर ऐसा हुआ. But you know what? You were correct 30 seconds before. Since 2011, 14, 16, 19, 21 and 24, whenever there is election, all these allegations comes in forward. But again, when it's about women's dignity, it's non-negotiable. You cannot negotiate about women's dignity at any case. This is what Mamata Bandyopadhyay, standing in the floor assembly, she said that if something has happened, no one will be spared. I will tell you about the SP's press conference. He said that we will not hide anything. I mean, despite talking to so many women, we still haven't received any such rape complaints. A woman has given the confession before the court magistrate. But at the same time, in a secret confession, she said something, but which is not disclosed as yet. But the SP clearly said that we will not ignore that secret confession.
Well, sir, he better not. He better not. It's a statement under 164. It's outside his purview now. It's before the magistrate. They'll have to take the call.
Do not create a hype. ये कोई जलसा नहीं चल रहा है. This is not Agnimitra Paul where she clearly says that give me 2 days.